Welcome back everybody to linuxacademy.com. My name is Terry, and in today's video we're going to continue our exploration of the Nginx web server. So in previous videos we've talked about our vhost configuration file, much like Apache, allowing our domains that are being listened to for our Nginx web connections to respond with content either externally or from within different locations on our file system. And we also talked about how to define our root for our domain inside of our server directive, either universally or using the location directive within server. So now we're going to use the location for something else. What we're going to do now is we're going to be looking at how to return specific codes that are based upon locations. So some website URIs can or may need to an immediate return of a response with a specific error or redirect code. And the most common ones are the 404 and 301, which is what we're going to talk about today. So 404, as everybody knows by this point in time, is a error code that says, hey, that this content doesn't exist at the specific location you've requested it from. So we're going to say if we get a request for a particular path within our www.myexample.local file server or web server, we're going to say, hey, this doesn't exist anymore. Let's return a 404 error code. So how do we do that? So let's go to our Etsy Nginx and vhost directory, and let's edit our www.myexample configuration file. And all we've got right now is a very simple location root file system in var or root var www html myexample. But let's say that we get a location request for, we'll call it a forum. So a forum's a good example. So anything that comes in inside a forum will say, hey, this is now a 404. This no longer exists on our system, and we want you to return an error message to the browser so that the browser understands that this location is now invalid for this web server. So let's go ahead and save it. And again, do an nginx-t to make sure we haven't made any typos. And then let's clear our screen, do a service nginx restart. Reload is another possibility if we don't want to kill off any connections that exist currently. And we can do a links http www.myexample.local, which gives us our default website. But if we put in here forum, what we should get is a 404 not found. And we would get that even if the forum directory actually existed, because the web server would stop looking for content that matches the location. So we're saying in this case, no matter what my file system has, this particular path no longer exists. However, what if, for example, we moved our forum to a website and we'll just say it's google.com. Obviously, Google is not our forum software, but it's not uncommon for a website to use forum software as a plugin for WordPress or for Drupal, and for the forum traffic to exceed the capacity of the website to deal with just forums. And then they install, for example, vBulletin software that can't be easily linked to the existing website without a whole lot of development, so they've moved it to a secondary domain. Now we want to return a permanent move location, which is a 301 redirect, and there, of course, there's 302, 303, 307s, etc. But we want a permanent redirect to be passed back to the browser so that the new domain is displayed, and that any SEO for Google or Yahoo or whomever realizes that that location is a permanent redirect to a new location. So how would we do that? So let's go ahead and clear our screen and go back to www.myexample.local.conf. And in this case, we're going to change from location forum to returning a 404 to let's return a 301 permanent redirect, and then tell it where it's being redirected to. In this case, we're going to redirect to www.google.com. We've used that in the past, so we should have accepted the ability to keep all of our cookies. We could pass a full path in here, some path to whatever we wanted to here. And this will actually redirect, rather than serving content from the location through our URL, it will actually redirect, return a 301 redirect to the browser and display the new location. So let's go ahead and save this file. Nginx-T to make sure we didn't make any typos. We'll clear, service Nginx restart. And then now we should be able to do a links http www.myexample.local, and if we go forum here, it should now move us immediately to www.google, and we're saying go ahead and allow anything incoming from Google. So we actually moved, as you saw at the bottom, we're serving the content, we've redirected it to google.com, and that location is now where we're serving content from. Whereas if I go back here, if I remove forum, I'm still serving my local content on my file system. So my location is still picked up. It didn't match the first location in my list of locations for content, so it moved on to the next one until it found a matching criteria. And in this case, it happened to be the slash, which we know is being served from var www.html my example, and in this case index.html, which contains www.myexample.local. So this is another use of location, but it's specifically using the return directive so that we can specify a location or a server context that provides an error code or a message code back to the client browser for how to manage and manipulate the content. We'll look at how to use this to rewrite our URIs in a future video, but for returning specific codes inside our location directive in our vhost, that's all there is to it. My name is Terry for Linux Academy.